welcome back to another video. So today we have another pencil review. This one is going to be for the 72 set of Derwent Lightfast. I am so excited to have these, and Derwent was kind enough to send these to me for review so that I could share them with all of you. And so we're probably going to take a look at these pencils. Of course, we're going to unbox them first because I've not even gotten to see them, because y'all know when I receive something in the mail, I always wait to unbox it on camera, and so it sometimes just sits there. But these just came to my front door and got delivered by FedEx, and I am ready to unbox them and take a look at them. And I think since there's only 72 of them, how about if we swatch these as well? I think that we should definitely do that. And then, of course, we're going to take a look at all of the colors in the tin and go over all of the colors after they're swatched. And then we are going to do a blend test like I always do. So if you would like to see these beautiful new pencils, please stick around. If you check the description box below, you will find links down there for my Facebook group. I would love for you to join us over there. We're currently putting together a color along over there, so you don't want to miss that. It is a summer coloring event, and I would love to have you join us. You will also find a link to my Etsy store, as well as my email list and my Patreon if you would like to support me over there. I'm also now doing private coloring classes via Zoom, which have been very, very popular. So if you would like to join me for some classes, you can email me at coloringwithpamela@gmail.com. Let's go ahead and unbox these pencils. So these came to me wrapped very nicely, or boxed very nicely, I should say, inside a box with, it did have, I think, the paper in there and everything else. So it came shipped very nicely and very protected. And then it came in this bubble wrap. I believe there was even more bubble wrap in the original box that came from FedEx. And it wasn't damaged or anything like that. I know a lot of us get pencils in the mail and the box is damaged, and we opened it up and we find out that our pencils are damaged or the tips are broken off, and that is never fun. So let's go ahead and pull it out of the plastic wrap. And let's see, how does this open? Okay, so over here on the side, I'm just going to pull it here out of the box. Oh my goodness, I am so excited about this. How many of you have been wanting these pencils for absolutely ever and have been holding out? That's how I feel. This is the one set of pencils that I've been wanting for the longest time. It was actually the only ones on my wish list, and I was lucky enough to have Derwent send me these for review. So thank you, Derwent, for sending these to me. I really appreciate it. Okay, so the lid comes right off like this. And then, of course, on the inside, it just says Derwent, and it's going to tell you a little bit about their company here on the inside of the tin. Let's go ahead and set this aside. And now we just need to get these out of the plastic. So it comes with a little information packet that you get with all of their colored pencils. And it says Lightfast, 100% Lightfast oil-based colored pencils. So of course they're called Derwent Lightfast. We know they're Lightfast, and all Lightfast means is how it is going to withstand the light over time and how much your colors are going to fade over time. So then it just gives us some hints and tips inside here, and then a little bit of, tips on layering and then mixing the colors, blending the colors, and the amount of pressure that you should put behind your pencil when you are coloring. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this aside because y'all know we all want to see the pencils, right? So let's take off the plastic. Let's go ahead and take it off the rest of the way here. They are so pretty. So let's go ahead and take a look at the colors and how they come in the tin. So inside the tin, first of all, of course, there's 72 pencils. So you get this little lift up groove here to put your thumbs or your fingers to pull it up out of the tin, like you do with many of the other colored pencil brands. And then, of course, you get this one here. And it's the same idea. So this is the second tray. So you're getting 2 trays, 72 pencils. Let's go ahead and take a look at the colors as they're laid in the tin. So over here we have what looks to be like a very dark green, and then a beautiful bright vibrant green, and then this looks like it may be a very pale minty green, which is absolutely beautiful. And this looks like it might be some sort of teal color. If I come down here and I look at the tips, of course they do have the color dip tips, so I'm sort of kind of going by that. But I'm wondering, this looks like it may be a very dark blue, but I'm wondering when I get down here, this looks like the white just sort of thrown in there in the middle of nowhere in between all these dark colors. We'll have to see as we start swatching. So we've got the darker blues, and we've got more blues, and this one looks like a very, I don't know, mid-tone purpley blue or fairly light. And then we've got, this looks like a much darker blue or a darker purple. We've got some more purples here. Oh, we've got some beautiful, very pale purples here. And then this looks to be like a mauve-y type tone. And then we get into our more cranberry tones. And then we've got this color that I think is called Oyster. And then some more beigey colors. This one here, that looks like a beigey color as well. This one looks like a very pale pink. That looks really pretty. Looks like a very pastel-y pink. And then we've got this color that looks like it may be a reddish brown. And then some reds, and we get into our oranges. And goodness, it looks like I might have to put these in color family order before I start swatching. I don't know, we'll see. So we've got our brighter oranges, and then we get into our yellows. This looks like a beautiful yellow, this color here. And then we've got our deep, vibrant, bright yellows. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. So let's just pull this out of here. And some of these look really light. I'm trying to figure out which one of these is white. This one says white on it. So this is our white pencil. And so maybe I should start down here because it looks like this is the direction we're continuing in, because those down there on that end are our grays and our very dark, deep colors with our black and our white. So we've got it looks like a mid-tone green here, and then some darker greens, and then our brighter greens. And then we've got this beautiful khaki green type color. And then this may be a very dark green, and these are our more olivey greens up in here. And then we've got this like mustard type green as we get into our yellows, or maybe it's I don't know, it looks like a, goodness, what does it look like? Maybe like a khaki type color? I don't know. Again, we're going to swatch these, so we will see. And I'm hoping that after I lay them all out and take the time to swatch them, that they are good enough for me and in the order that I want. I might go through and start swapping some of them as I'm swatching. I don't know, we'll see. Y'all know how I am about my colored pencils being in color family order. And then we've got a yellow here, and what is this one called? This looks like a really, if I look at the tip here on this one, it looks like a very pale, like yellowish green or something. It's very different. It's very pretty though. So as we start to move down here, we've got more browns, and then we have our brownish reds. And here we have, like these browns down here, they are more of our like orangey browns, I guess you would call them. They've got, looks like they've got quite a bit of orange in them. And then as we move down, we've got our red browns, and then we've got our deeper browns and our very dark brown right here. And here is another brown that's very different. I don't know if I'm looking at these are sort of backwards, are they not? And then we're getting into our grays. So we've got some really pretty shades of gray. Look how bright and vibrant that gray is looking at the tip of it. We'll have to see how closely they match once we get to swatching them. So we've got several grays here. And then we get into our deepest grays. And then we get into our black, and then we have our white. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the actual pencils themselves. So you get this beautiful wood casing for the barrel. It's really pretty light wood. And then we get the color dipped tip on these with the black ring around just below it. And then it's going to have the color name. In this case, this one is Mid Ultramarine. And then you see here it has this little LF1. That means the LightFast rating is a 1, which means it is the highest LightFast rating, which means that it is 100% LightFast. The core is going to be resistant to color change for up to 100 years under museum conditions. So like with most of our budget-friendly pencils that we all love so much, they're not going to be light fast. So if you're coloring with them, they are not necessarily going to last in years and years to come. But these will hold their color and retain the color true to what they were the day that you colored them. Down here it says Derwent Lightfast and made in Britain. And then here we have the beautiful lead of the pencil. This is how they come when they originally are shipped to you. Of course, we are going to sharpen this lead so that we can see how they perform in our Doll 133 sharpener like I do with all of my reviews. Can't really see it just because we've got a color dipped tip, but they do have a 4mm core in these pencils, so it is a little bit wider than something like your Prismacolors. These are also an oil-based pencil rather than a wax-based pencil like something like your Prismacolors, where your Prismacolors are very, very soft. These should be a little bit harder when you're coloring with them, and so they should retain their lead for quite a bit longer than something like your Prismacolor. Next, I would like to talk about pricing. So you can purchase this set. I'm going to go over the pricing actually for Amazon and also Blick, because those are the best places to be able to purchase these beautiful pencils. So if you go to Amazon, you can get the 72 set for $176.50. And these do come in a 72 set, a 36 set, a 24 set, and a 12 set. They also come in a beautiful 100 set that comes with extra colors, of course. So instead of 72, you'd be getting 100, and then they would come in a beautiful wooden box. Now, on Amazon, I wasn't able to find the 100 set, but they have the 36 set for $88.55, the 24 set for $59.09, the 12 set for $36.14, and then when I checked with Blick, you can get the 72 set for $176.99, so like 50 cents more than Amazon. And then the 36 set for $88.55, which is the same price as Amazon. The 24 set for $59.09, which is also the same price as Amazon. And the 12 set for $35.46, which is a little bit cheaper than Amazon. And then they also had the 100, the beautiful 100 set with the wooden box for $281.99. Now you have to remember when you are looking at the price of the one that has the 100 different colors in it as well as the wooden box, you're not just paying for a few extra pencils, you're also paying for that beautiful wooden box you're receiving along with the pencils. I will have links for all of these down in the description box below if you're interested in purchasing these pencils for yourself. Okay, so now that we have looked at all of these beautiful pencils, it is time to go ahead and test them out on my Doll 133. I like to do this with every single one of my pencil reviews just because I always have people in my Facebook group or even in the comments section asking, does the Doll 133 work for these? Because y'all know how much I love that pencil sharpener, and I'm always talking about that pencil sharpener. It is my, I don't know, y'all know. I don't have to explain. Y'all know how much I love it. So let's go ahead and grab the sharpener. And the sharpener is nice and clean. I just cleaned it out. If y'all saw my video where I showed you how to use the Doll 133, you know that it is very important to make sure that this is completely cleaned out for you to get a really good sharpening out of your pencils. If you didn't already see that video on the Doll 133, I will link that in the upper right hand corner for you, because when you purchase this pencil sharpener, it does not come with instructions, and so many people were asking me and having issues with it and didn't understand how to use it and all sorts of things. So I figured it would be easier to make a video. So I have a video specifically on how to use this since it does not come with any instructions. So I went ahead and grabbed this beautiful yellow color. It's called Banana. How fitting is that? It's a beautiful bright yellow color. So let's go ahead and try to sharpen it and see. I will say, since these are a artist grade pencil, they should sharpen like an absolute dream, and it's not going to be like something like when you stick a Crayola in here and you're struggling to just turn the lever on the side because they are so hard. And that's what you're going to get with a very budget pencil. And some of the budget pencils are going to be a little bit better than some of the others, but when we're talking artist grade like these beautiful pencils here, this should definitely sharpen like a dream. So they sharpen really nicely, and if you heard it stopped when it was done, you could actually feel it giving way and just not sharpening the pencil anymore. And that's when you know it's done. Now with something like the Prismacolors, you don't want to do that. You want to just make your own determination as to when it's time to pull the pencil out. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. Look how gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Look at that beautiful sharp lead. I cannot wait to color with these, y'all. Look how pretty that is. Let's go ahead and try one more color because I'm going to have to go through and sharpen all of these anyway. So let's see, what color do we have here? We've got Derwent Red is what this color is called. Here again is what the tip looks like when it comes to you from the factory. And we are just going to stick it in the pencil sharpener. And again, this is very easy to turn. And it's going to stop right when it's done. You could feel it. And then I'm just going to pull it out. And look at that gorgeous lead that I have again. Look at that pretty color. That is really pretty. Now we are ready to go ahead and start swatching out all of these beautiful colors in the 72 cent of Derwent Lightfast. And I've got some swatch charts here. Now these are available in my Etsy store, and this one, I have two different ones. So I took a lot of requests from everybody in my Facebook group. When I created this chart, everybody wanted space for the number as well as space for the name. And they wanted a lot less white space and a lot less colored things, so that when it printed out, you weren't using a whole lot of ink. So that is what I tried to do. And so it's very minimal. So it just has the colored pencil swatch chart, the title up here, and then your colored pencil set. And this one, I've got two different versions. This one here has the swatch area for you to swatch your color. And when I swatch my pencils out, I like to do a light, a medium, and dark from each pencil. And some of us like to do a gradient of the colors, but those of us that are very much beginners, I feel like this is much easier, and that's what a lot of you that are beginners and are just coming into this hobby, a lot of you have told me that and requested this one, to where you have the division of the lines where you can do a light, medium, and dark. So I created it in both ways. I've got this one, and then this one here I've already printed out all of the names because I am ready to start swatching. So I put 72 Derwent Lightfast up here, and I filled in all the names, and y'all had requested that there's plenty of room to write, and so I made sure that I did that. Now when you are writing the names on your swatch charts, I like to use this black pen here. These are the Sarasa pens, Sarasa clip pens, and they are 0.5. I have a whole set of these in all different colors, and they are wonderful because they write very small. If you could see that, the ink that comes out, it's just very small. It's not wide writing, and it doesn't flow out and spread when you write with them. They are one of the best on the market, or at least I feel that way. And I use these a lot for journaling and for other things and for my planning and things like that. And I also use them now when I'm writing the names in on my swatch charts, because it makes it much easier for you to fit the name of the pencil or the number of the pencil in these boxes that sometimes can be rather small. But I took all of your requests in my Facebook group and I made this chart, and I was able to fit 72 on here. So it is perfect for me to swatch these out because this set is 72, and I will be having more coming to my Etsy store very soon. And I'm going to try to make one where I'm able to fit 120 on just one side. So that will be coming. And I always have the link down in the description for my Etsy store if you are interested in checking out what I have there. So I've got these two, but I am going to be using just this one today, and we're going to start swatching these out. So if you look at my chart here, you will notice that I am actually missing one space here where I didn't write the color name down. And that is because as I went through and I started writing the names down, I realized that I am mistakenly was mistakenly given two of the deep blue color. And so I left this space here because it seems as though I'm missing the color called denim. And so I wanted to leave that for when I do get that color. So we will go ahead and swatch out all of the rest. And the only color that will be missing is denim because I accidentally apparently got two deep blues in my set. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to start the color swatching now. And as I said, I'm going to do light and then medium and then dark from each color. And I'll show you how I do that as we go along. I'm going to go ahead and set this to music, and we are going to do that now. Here we have all the colors all laid out, and let's go ahead and take a look at some of them. So we start here with our yellows. Now most of you all know, if you've seen me put my pencils in color family order in previous videos, you know that I usually always have the white in the front, and I didn't do that. I probably would have had the white and then the champagne moved over here. I'll probably re-swatch them and switch them around a little bit, but usually when Derwent's pencils come to you, they're in a pretty good order. There's just a couple of them usually that need to be flipped just a little bit. So we start here with our beautiful bright vibrant yellows. We've got this banana and then this sun yellow. Then we've got this gorgeous champagne color. And then we have this mustard color here that starts to transition us into our yellow oranges, and we move into our amber gold. This is a beautiful color. We get this color here called flame, which looks more like a true orange. And it looks like we only have one real orange color, because now we're getting into our reds where we have this Derwent red and then another one that's maybe a little bit more muted. This one looks a little bit brighter and darker. This one looks a tad bit muted, which is called strawberry. And then we've got scarlet, which is always a beautiful color in every set. And then we've got cherry red, which is a deeper red, and then merlot, which is absolutely gorgeous. Now we're going to start getting into our peachy colors. So we've got this pale peach here, this salmon, which is beautiful because it's more of a pinky peach tone, and then this dusky pink is absolutely beautiful. It's like a mauve-y type pink color, and it's just really pretty, very muted. Sort of, I don't know, is it a little bit rosy maybe? I don't know. It's a really pretty color. And then this oyster that seems to be a very pale blushy pink color. And I don't even know how I would describe that one, but yeah, I guess I couldn't describe it any more than saying it's more of, it looks like it has a very mild pink undertone. So it's very, very pretty. And then we've got this deep rose color. Now we're moving into the purples. We have one color here that is very purple. Of course, it's called purple. And then we have our more mauve tone, which is called Mars Violet. Now we're moving into our purpley pinks. So we've got heather and then wild lavender. Now we're getting into our much deeper, darker tones of purple as we move into our blues. So we've got nightshade, violet, and blue violet. And then we have this gorgeous pale, pale blue, which is called mid ultramarine. Now we're going to get more so into the deeper blues. So we've got a deep blue and then a sapphire. And then as I said earlier, I am missing this color here that should be denim. So I'll probably go ahead and write that in a little bit later, and then we'll see what we can do about that. I'll probably send an email out to the company. But here we've got mid blue 70%, midnight blue, so our deeper blues. This one looks like it may have a little bit of, I don't know, teal in it. And this one too. This mid blue 70% looks like it's got a very mild little bit of teal in it. And then we've got this Arctic color, which is a very, very pretty, very pale, pale green. And now it looks like green to me. It looks like it has a green undertone. It may have a blue undertone. It's so, so pale. It's very hard to tell. And then we get over here into what they're calling dark indigo. That's a gorgeous color, so a very dark, deep blue. And then ocean blue. And then we have our turquoise color. So we've started with our dark turquoise color. And as we get into our greens, we've got our light aqua, our turquoise green, and then a very beautiful color called mallard green. This is a very deep, vibrant green. Here we've got our vivid green, which looks like a, I don't know, it looks more like a true green. That does definitely look more like a true green. And then we've got our olivier greens or our pine greens. And so we've got spruce green, pine green, and racing green. Those are all really, really pretty. This one looks like it has a tad bit of gray in it. And then we've got grass green. So we're getting into our greenish yellow color. So we've got a grass green, and then we have a grass green, which is cut down by 30% of this color. So we've got our grass green 70%. And then we've got foliage. This is a beautiful color. And then forest, which looks like a very deep, deep, deep green. Almost, I don't know, almost brown, like a brownish green maybe. And then we've got our olive earth and seaweed. This is a gorgeous color. Another gorgeous color, looks kind of like a brownish green. And then we get into our bronze color. So we've got light bronze as we get into our browns. And then here we have a yellow ochre, which is like a brownish yellow color, a very pale brownish yellow color. We have wheat, sandstone, Persian orange. So we have a few more oranges here, but they look like they have a little bit of brown in them. So we've got burnt sienna and Mars orange. So these are all our brownish orangey colors or tones. And we've got sienna, and then here we have a brown that looks like it has a lot of red in it. It's Venetian red. And then ruby red, sepia, which they had in parentheses actually on the pencil said red, so that's like a brownish red. Natural brown, chocolate. So these are our more true browns. We've got natural brown, chocolate, and Van Dyke brown. And then we get into our grays. So this gray here is absolutely beautiful. It's called fossil gray. Then we have some warm grays here. So we've got what they're calling warm gray. And then we have a moonstone, which is a much paler version, it looks like, of this color. Then we're going to get into some more grays here where these look more like cool grays. So we got a granite and a platinum. This one's a very shiny, looks almost silver. It's very, very pretty. And then cloud gray, mist, and then we have 3 different blacks here, and I really love that because these blacks have very different undertones to them. So we've got this Mars black that looks almost like a brownish black, and then we've got this midnight black, which looks like it has a lot more blue in it, and then we have black, and then of course we have white. So like if you had this set, I did a video where I showed you how to create black, and you can create a whole lot of different variations of black when you're trying to color black on your coloring pages. And so with this set, this is really neat because you wouldn't necessarily have to create your black. You're getting 3 different blacks here. You're getting a black here that looks more brown and a black here that looks more blue, and then your straight up black color. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move into the blend test. And immediately when I look at this, I just feel like I want to do colors that are sort of turquoise. And so I'm looking at these greenish turquoise colors here, and I've got the mallard green, the turquoise green, and the light aqua, and they're all right next to each other, so I figure that would be really great to go ahead and swatch those out and do a little bit of a blend test, because I really want to see how their light, bright, beautiful highlight, or what I would consider a highlight color and my color combination would actually look like. So I've got my Spring Hill paper here. You all know that I always use the Spring Hill paper. It's my absolute favorite. And I've also found a new favorite. I've got that Strathmore colored pencil paper, and that paper is fabulous too. You have to cut it down a little bit because it comes in 9 by 12. So you would take your paper trimmer and cut it down a little bit, but it is perfect for printing out your coloring pages. Now let me go ahead and grab these colors. So I've got my mallard green, my turquoise green, and my light aqua, and they were all right next to each other. And of course I already sharpened all of these with my Dahl 133, and they all have beautiful sharp leads. So we're gonna go ahead and just do a really quick blend test and see how these colors blend together. Now remember, these are oil-based pencils, so when they lay down, they're gonna lay down in layers, and you should be able to get quite a few layers down with these, especially if you're using a paper like this here, Spring Hill paper, because this paper is a rather toothy paper, and so it's going to grab onto that pigment, and the oil, or with an oil-based pencil, the pigment is just going to continue to lay on top and lay on top and lay on top. And as you come back and you do continuous light layers, you will see that it just gets much more bright and vibrant. And I noticed with the, when I was doing the swatching, that they lay down just like butter. They are absolutely beautiful. So let me go ahead, and I'm going to start with my darkest color. So this is the mallard green, and I'm just going to lay this down here. And as I come down, I'm going to sort of lift the pressure off of my pencil as I'm creating that transition and coming in with the next lightest color. So now I have my turquoise green, and I'm going to start up here. And look how beautifully already these are blending together. Oh my goodness, how pretty. Oh, these are nice. Okay, so again, I'm going to lift off of the pressure of my pencil as I grab my next lightest color, and I start right here at the transition line and just pull this down, and look how pretty that is. Wow, these are really nice. Okay, so that is our first layer. Let's come back and go over this again and create our second layer. And of course I'm going to pull it down there into my mid-tone, and I'm going to get my next color, and I'm going to come down from there, and I'm going to lay this right over there as a second layer and pull down into my last color, what I'm using for my highlight color. I don't think I finished that one. I came down quite a bit further with that one. And then we're going to come back with our last color, which was the light aqua, and that was 2 layers. Now, as you can see, I'm going back and forth, and I'm changing the direction of my pencil. This is my 3rd layer, and I'm still lifting up as I come into that mid-tone. And I start at the transition line and come down and pull it down even more. And then my last color. This last color is so, so light. I know it's probably really hard to see on camera, but it's a gorgeous color. If you were using this on your coloring pages, that would really make whatever object it is you're coloring just pop so much. Between this darkest shadowing color that I'm using and that highlight, that is what helps you to create a whole lot of depth and dimension. So I believe this, gosh, I already lost track. Is this 4? Y'all can tell me. Y'all know whenever I do these, I always lose track of what I'm doing. I think this is 5 because I'm going this direction. And I don't know. Anyways, I think it's about 4. I'll be able to tell when I come back and I'm editing. Okay, so we've got another layer here. And another layer again. And the white of the paper is starting to fill quite a bit. And these layers, they just continue. They're still piling. I think that I'm at 5 or 6. And I'm coming back down again. And check out the transition here. And let's see how these colors are transitioning together. Look how smooth that transition is there. See how the colors just come together, and you've got a really smooth transition line as you come down into the mid-tone here. And they feel so nice as I'm laying more and more layers down on this paper, and they're just so pigmented. The pigment from the pencil is just piling, and it's just making it so much more beautiful and vibrant. But I could sit here probably and come back with layer after layer for a very long time, and so I'm not going to do that for the sake of the video. I just wanted to do this to be able to test out, you know, how they blend together. And these are actually doing really, really well. But that is really not surprising to me at all, because of course these are artist grade pencils. They are quite a bit on the expensive side, but I know that I make lots and lots of videos of budget friendly pencils and show y'all those and everything. But if you don't ever purchase just one artist grade pencil set, like, you know, the polychromos, these Derwent Lightfast, which those are probably your oil-based choices, or maybe like, you know, a Prismacolor set, which would be a wax-based choice. And if you don't have just one artist grade set to be able to compare to all of those very much budget friendly sets, then I don't know. I really feel like every colorist should have at least one artist grade set, because it really does make such a huge difference. And I know a lot of people in the coloring community say, oh, well, we're just coloring and we don't really need to worry about everything being so light fast because we are just coloring. But I know for me, some of the things that I color, I want to preserve those colorings for years and years to come. I don't want them to fade, and I don't want them to lose their color, and I want to be able to look at them in years from now. And I don't know, that's the way I feel about it. Sometimes I don't know, I don't feel like it's just coloring. A lot of people say, oh, you're just coloring and you're not necessarily an artist who has to sell their work or whatever. And yeah, that is really great for all of these artists. You know, they need these pencils that are completely light fast because they are selling their work and they don't want the color to fade or turn over time. But sometimes when you are a colorist and you are quote unquote just coloring in coloring books, you need to treat yourself a little bit just one time. I do always suggest starting out with a budget grade set just to make sure that you really love this hobby. And after you're doing it for a while, then everyone has to treat themselves. So I want to do one more thing before I end this video. And the last thing I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to test out the white pencil and see exactly how opaque it is. So I've got a black sheet of paper here, and this is just a construction sheet of paper that my kids had that I pulled out of our homeschool cabinet. So we're just gonna go ahead and test this white, and we're gonna see how opaque it is. Wow. Oh, it's pretty opaque. I wouldn't say it is as opaque as something like a Prismacolor. I guess I could pull out my Prismacolor and test it. Let's lay a couple more layers down here and see what happens and how much whiter it gets and how much more of this black we can cover. And of course, the reason I'm doing it on black is because black is the only way that y'all would be able to see this, but this looks pretty opaque. I think maybe I should grab my Prismacolor and put a little bit over here on the other side. Let's go ahead and try that, because we all know that Prismacolor is one of the most opaque colors. And so we can do a little bit of a comparison. Now remember, the Prismacolor is wax-based and your Derwent Lightfast is oil-based. So that makes a little bit of a difference. And let me get just as many layers down here with the Prismacolor white as I did with the other one. I don't know, they look about the same. I don't know, maybe this one looks just a tad bit whiter. Not much though. Let me lay another layer of this one down. Okay, so yeah, I think the Prismacolor looks a little bit more opaque. Let me hold it up a little bit closer to the camera so y'all can see. But this one is a Derwent Lightfast, and this one over here is the Prismacolor. And I think the Prismacolor does look a little bit more white, but this one did a pretty good job. I just wanted to do that little bit of test, or that little test, just for those of you that may have been curious. Okay, so that wraps up this video, and I hope you really enjoyed it. And if you are interested in purchasing these pencils for yourself, I'll have all the links down in the description box below so you can easily find them. I'm going to include links for Amazon as well as Blick Art, because I know some of us like to shop in different places, and I believe there was one set, if you just wanted to start with a small set and try them out, I believe there was one set that was a little bit cheaper on the Blick website. Yeah, I think it was the 12 set. So if you just wanted to get the 12 set and try them out, they're $36.14 on Amazon, whereas you can go to the Blick site and get them for $35.46. So that's a little bit of a difference if you just wanted to try these out. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Happy coloring. Bye.